You're listening to the Australian Hunting and Beyond podcast with Matt, where we talk about hunting, shooting, fishing, camping, and everything else that the great outdoors has to offer. Let's get into it. Hey everyone, just thought I'd give a quick plug that the SSAA Shot Expo is on the 19th and 20th of October, which is just around the corner, down there in the Melbourne Showgrounds. If you are planning on attending, make sure you get over and say g'day to Blake at Contract Social. We've had Blake on the podcast previously and talking about the app that you can use to manage your property access and lend gear out and things like that. I think it's fantastic. It's now up and running. If you get the chance and you are there, make sure you head in to Contract Social and say g'day. Well worth the trip. Alrighty, let's get into tonight's episode. Before we start, the acronym for Wild Game on Open Flames, like WGOOF.
Yeah. Yeah. No worry, you're not the first to pick that up.
No, that's good. It's I was looking at it when I typed in because just to keep the details so I know whose recording it was, and I was looking at it going WGOOF. I wonder if he's seen that.
Oh well, it actually won't be WGOOF for too much longer, to be honest.
Yeah. Groundbreaking stuff here.
Oh, we're straight out of the gates. So, we're sick of typing in wild game open flame. We're kind of at the point where it's,
too long.
It's a little bit too long, a little bit too difficult to say, and you got goof at the end of it. So I'll let Jesse explain the next bit because it's fair bits happening behind the scenes at the Goof headquarters.
Well, before we go too much further here with the goofballs, just to introduce both of you, we've got Lawson and Jesse from Wild Game on Open Flame, but we're about to hear a name change, I feel, so it could be anything. Jesse, this is your first ever podcast.
It is, mate.
Mate, don't be nervous. We've got like a legend of the podcasting arena in Lawson here, so we can always ask him what to do. So
just talk rubbish.
Yeah, well, I'm a man of few words, so it's going to be hard for me.
That's not good for a podcast medium. But what's going on? What's this new? Now you've just got me curious. What's going on?
Are we going to reveal the actual name, Lawson, or?
Oh, geez.
This is a couple of weeks away.
We're a few weeks from dropping everything, but things are happening very quickly behind the scenes. As people probably noticed, I've seen Jesse on the front cover a little bit more
Is that because he looks like Charlie? Is it Hammond from Sons of Anarchy?
Yeah, that's it,
mate. I thought the wrong bloke had joined the podcast tonight.
Yeah, I get that a bit. So I've been called worse things though. So.
Haven't we all?
Yeah, I'll take that one.
Yeah. So no, Charlie Hum and myself are we've doing a name change, but we've got a lot of things happening behind the scenes just because just bite off as much as you can take and chew like hell. It's kind of been what our motto's been. With the guided hunts and the education courses and so I'll probably let Jesse explain it because he's a lot better at explaining things than I am.
So we're moving in a slightly different direction. We want to build pretty much like a rewards club sort of thing, like a loyalty program. It's going to be subscription based, and people are we want to offer as much value as we can to our members. There'll be a couple of different tiers of membership, and we're going to be doing a lot of giveaways. We want to try and get discounts through retailers in the industry for our members. So that's pretty much the gist of it.
It's not hunting, but it's not just hunting.
Not just hunting, no.
Yeah, so we're moving across to the fishing as well. Anything outdoors. So we're going to look at full drive clubs. We're going to look at everything that a hunter would normally. Most hunters fish. Most hunters full drive. So we're going to go out there. We're going to try and get discount codes for people. We're going to do chartered fishing, but at the same time, we're still doing our hunting courses. We're still doing our guided hunts, education hunts, that stuff's never stopping. It's just we've got such a community happening at the moment, and everyone's so down to earth, and we've doing a stag giveaway at the moment, and that's just gone unreal. Everyone's asking for more. So we know there's other groups doing similar things, but no one's doing a fishing and hunting, and no one's doing the education up in Queensland like we are. I know there's a few other groups around that does education stuff, but we're the sole guys up in Queensland doing it. So yeah, we're excited. We're just going to change the name a little bit, well, a lot actually. So it's just a bit different, but yeah, I don't know. What else, Jess? Is there anything I probably missed?
We're going to try and do some of the outdoor, like just general outdoor stuff as well. Not just hunting, not just fishing, but, camping, four-wheel driving, anything in the outdoor space in Australia, we're going to try and sink our teeth into. So, do you want to drop the name? the name change?
Well, we might as well.
So the new name is?
Yeah, it's Nature's Perks. So it's short.
Yeah, nice.
To the point. It's less of a mouthful than wild game on open flame, and yeah, easier.
I mean, if you're diversifying into what you're going to be putting out there, it makes more sense. And especially if you're talking about, getting into fishing, just fishing alone, that's not wild game. So when you're talking about cooking fish and fishing, it's not under that banner. So, no, I like it because originally I did like the Bale and Scale and barbecue. It encompassed so much, but it's a little bit different to where you boys were headed, which has been good to see you guys growing and what you're doing there. And that makes more sense. I like it.
Yeah, I think it's just trying new things and trying to work out. And we've had a lot of success with the education courses and a lot of the education hunts. We're booked out. We can't do anymore. We're too busy. So we also want to do free things, and we're building a community. We've already got a private group happening where people can do input and have their say on things. So what we want to try and do is move that over to the website, where people can get recipes. We've got a firearms specialist on board now who can talk all day about firearms and also write all day about firearms. So he's jumped on board and helping us with that because you could go down the rabbit hole on firearms. It's lots of fun, but people like John, for example, who's been helping us, it's his bread and butter. He's got a photogenic memory. He remembers everything he reads, and he's just the person for that. So we're aiming to build a community that obviously we can help and obviously educate and enlighten, and also people can win some stuff, win some hunts, win some fishing trips, make it worthwhile.
No, I mean, I like it. I think there's definitely the space for it, and I know that there's not so much out there that encompasses everything, which has always surprised me a little bit because they do go so hand in hand. Like I look at it and I was laughing. I don't know why I was laughing, but I did the CV in my car and I've got a hunt coming up. So I'm sitting there going, bloody hell. Now I've got to, rush to get a new CV joint put in before I go away. And I was copping it from my brother-in-law because he's like, oh, there's dust here and this and that. And it's like, it's a full drive. Like that's what we're into. It's, it's not as nice as your Mustang, but it's not designed. You won't get your Mustang where I can. You can try, but it probably is not going to work out well. But, I sort of sit there and go, they all fall in line together. And I talk about it all the time. One of the things for me, I love hiking, I love camping, I love being out in the bush, love fishing, love eating. It just all comes together. So I love the fact that you're tying all those different things in. It's a great idea, and I'm keen to see where that goes because I've obviously, Lawson, known you for a while, and prior to Wild Game on Open Flame, watching what's been going on and how you're growing and what you're doing, it's been fantastic. I know we chat off the air a little bit, but it's been really good to see that going and you guys have success because you're a decent bloke, which I love. I like seeing good people succeed. So that's a positive. Jesse, I don't know you, but Lawson vouched for you. So in my books, that's all right.
Just stay from a distance. Stay from a distance, Matty. It's all I can say.
But
thank you for the kind words, mate. Appreciate it.
It's all right, mate. Let's talk about the red stag hunt. I Have not entered, I'll be completely honest, only because I don't think I could even get up to Queensland to do it.
We can do it the year after.
But, well, I don't know if my kids will allow that one. They've little mongrels. But I saw during the week it was, double entry September. And I know a couple of mates that have been going hell for leather. I think each week they've been wanting to buy tickets into it. Value is pretty damn good.
Oh, yeah.
You've hit a chord in the community for doing it because there's a lot of things out there. Like, I'm a big fan of the Hunting Club and what they do with their giveaways. And it's, don't quote me, but I think it's $120 a year. And every fortnight they give away a hunt. And then I think every offset.
Is it fortnight, is it?
Yeah, it's fortnightly. It's bloody brilliant.
Wow,
like it is, I compared it to the Australian Hunters Club when I was in that, and that was only like a monthly one, and you paid like $280 or something like that.
Oh, wow.
Whereas this one's less. Like, there's more. I'm guessing there's more people. It's a bit more transparent. You've got they put the wheel up so you can see how many entries are in there. But it's fortnightly, and then offset for that the other week, there's a giveaway of gear, basically a first, second, and third price every other fortnight. So each week for 52 weeks a year, it's bloody brilliant. And for the value, I look at that and then I go, there is definitely a market for people to do that. And for what you're offering and what you're getting back, it's pretty well priced.
Yeah.
Good on you. I like it.
Well, I'm not going to take anything for that. That's still Jesse's baby. He's the man behind all that. So I'll let him explain it to you because obviously I know Tony quite well. So I'll hand over to you, Jess.
So the stag hunt, it's a 2-day fully catered. That's all on the website anyway. But 2-day fully catered. We guide you in on a red stag, and we cape him out once you shoot him, and pay to have it turned into a wall mount as well, shoulder mount by Tony Bianco. So
so Tony Bianco is probably, if not the best taxidermy in Australia. I know there's Tim Blackwell. I know there's Michael from Down Under, but he'd be definitely in the top 3 in Australia for taxidermy. I've kept my eye out, and it wasn't an easy decision. I could have gone to Michael from Down Under and Gympie. Could have gone to someone completely different, but I from Tony's work that I've seen up and close, it's just he's got a dingo. He's got a dingo on one of his posts, and I swear if you put that dingo out in the paddock, you'd think it's you'd be pulling the gun out, shooting it, thinking that's how real it looks. It's amazing bit of work. So, and Tony's won plenty of awards. So the taxidermy alone is nearly $1,500 worth. I think it's more a little bit shy of 1,500, but you're going to get a cracking weekend. We've had a couple of clients from Victoria, Tassie now coming down. I'm actually going to send ahead tomorrow, a nice 8-pointer up back to Tassie tomorrow. So, some good reds getting around. It's just, we've realised with our situation, we've got to be more, it's more about conservation. We're very, very picky now. We only do a certain amount of hunts a year. We had a course, 2 weeks ago, Jess, from memory?
Yeah.
Yeah, we would have seen probably 150 odd deer for the weekend, and we weren't even looking. And the course people loved it because we pulled up beside the swamp, and there was huge rooster just sitting there, big rooster just sitting there with one there, his monstrous rack, and we had a guy literally right there say, "Can I shoot that one right now? I'll give you money." And we're just like, no, calm down. It's not allowed to do that. So we end up playing more conservationist now because we're there at the property so much, but we're obviously doing education courses there and also the stag hunts and the meat hunts. So it's going to be exciting. The raffle is very exciting. So and we've obviously it's Jesse's baby with the whole raffle thing. And Tony Bianco will seal the deal nice.
I'll have to stop you there. It's not a raffle. You're not allowed to call it a raffle. It's a promotional giveaway.
There you go.
Yeah. They're the same thing, but can't say raffle.
No. There you go.
You got to watch the legislation on that, on how it's all about and registered with lotteries. It might be different up there in Queensland, but I know in New South Wales it's a very you got to navigate it well to be able to do it. And a lot of people don't do that. They just do it as a giveaway, but they can get themselves in a fair bit of trouble for that if they get caught. So it makes sense. Let's talk hunting education. Pretty decent value from what I've seen. You've got people out there like Errol Mason who like absolute guru doing it. And, he's dropping his price a little bit to get more people in. I think he's up to about $12.50 now, which I know Frankie went down there and did that. So he came back just with a wealth of knowledge, all about sambar. You guys are a bit more broad in what you're doing and going through things, really focusing on the hunting, I guess, the beginner basics into like butchery, into like the whole lot. So do you want to give people who may not have seen what you're doing, and I'd be surprised if they haven't, but just a bit of an overview of what you're doing and what you're charging and things like that?
Yeah, so we've at the moment we're doing 2 courses, but at the current moment we've only got one out. So it's called the butchering and outdoor practical course. So what we teach you is we'll basically teach you how to butcher a whole animal, and then we will go through everything on how to get to that animal. So we'll show you where to shoot it, how to shoot it, what to shoot it with. We'll teach you how to do bino stuff. So a lot of guys, you believe it or not, cannot find a deer with binoculars or have no idea how to do that. We'll do blood trail. So Jesse made the most impossible blood trail last course, but everyone got it done, and it kind of shows you. We've kind of made a scenario, so a simulated drill. We just said, all right, we accidentally gut shot this deer. It's run 200 meters, and Jesse made a blood trail up and down a hill, around a corner and over a fence line and blah, blah, blah. And the people got through to that, and they basically learned how to tell a trail. And we don't make it easy. We make it, Jesse made it as hard as he could, and the guys loved it. They said this is a lot of fun. Like, ideally, we'd say, all right, I've just shot it. Terrible shot. It does happen. Now we've got to go find the animal and track it. And, so we do blood trails. We talk about a lot to do with butchering. So we go through the butchering, which is, for me, butchering is a huge part because you don't want to waste. You've made all this effort. You've just spent, $3,000 on a rifle, $1,000 on a scope, $90 on a sling. You've bought hundreds of dollars worth of camo. You go out and shoot it and you can leave in the paddock. Well, it kind of defeats the purpose of your $5,000 kit plus your ute. So, we're going to show you how to butcher it. We don't gut it there, but I do end up sending people a gutting video in the end, just because sometimes it doesn't work out. We normally go out in the late afternoon before the course and we shoot one. But, ideally we end up wanting to do a hunt with the guys. But that doesn't always work out. The course we just had, we actually butchered a Texas Longhorn. So farmer said, look, we've got a Longhorn that needs to go. Can you get rid of it for us? So we did a whole, basically we cut down a whole Texas Longhorn in probably half an hour. It was pretty full on, but everyone got to go. Everyone got to have the feeling of what the texture feels like. And the idea is we want people to have a crack too. So they shoot their gun, they shoot their bow. Jesse takes them away and lets them shoot their bow. I have a firearms instructor with me, and we go through and shoot the guns. We sight in a rifle. Jesse talks about that with the bows. Yeah, and we go through every possible situation that can happen while you're out hunting when it comes to rifles and all that kind of stuff. So we have, like I said, a firearms specialist, and he's very good on talking about speed, projectiles, so on and so forth. Probably missed something, but yeah.
So, Jesse, your background's with the bow, I believe.
It's a bit of both. I've probably got more experience with guns, to be honest. I started as a young fella with guns, and then I picked up the bows. I've been bow hunting for probably 4 or 5, might be 6 years now. Yeah, about 6 years. So I like both. Bow hunting is very, very different to rifle hunting, and you pick up a lot. Like, you learn a lot about hunting by hunting with a bow. So,
well, you got so much more to it. I always say this, I'm glad I've got the rifle because I'm not that great a hunter, and getting in that close with the bow is very tricky. So if you're able to do that with the bow, or you've got that grounding, then the rifle sort of looks pretty easy compared, because you definitely can reach out a lot further and, less chance of spooking the animal, et cetera, So I understand that. And then also you're a bit of a whiz with the camera.
Oh, yeah, it's something that I picked up just recently.
I've thrown you under the bus, mate. Sorry.
No, that's all good. Yeah, no, I've always been pretty keen on the whole filming aspect, but I've never really had the opportunity to put it into practice. So when we decided to make the Wild Game on Open Flame YouTube channel, I thought, oh, goody, I'll start getting into that. And there's a lot more to it than you first think. Hey, it's not quite as simple as just pointing the camera and pushing a button.
People miss that side of it. Like, even, I don't know how a lot of guys do the solo filming of their hunts. I quite enjoy playing around with filming and then editing. It's just enjoying that sort of creative aspect, but I don't know how guys do it on their own, because it's so damn hard. You're thinking about all these different things and trying to capture it all. Like, I just look at it and go, man, such a tricky element to be able to film it though. If you're out there filming someone doing it, geez, that entices me. That idea of that sounds really good, because then you can create and make something from it, which is going to be, you're seeing that and them in the same picture. But yeah, it's a really tricky one. I have respect for guys that do it, because I don't know how. Like, it's just such a tricky element, but it's quite enjoyable to be behind a camera and be out there filming as well. Yeah, like just watching other people and how they go about it, that's super interesting. And being able to put that and tell that story, I get why people want to do it. Like Chris Burns, I love his photography and his short films he's doing. And I get why he wants to do it, because that creative element, it's awesome.
Yeah, no,
there's cool stuff around at the moment too. Like, guys, that whole filming, it's just like when I did it with Bathing, Scully and Barbecue, it was never fun. It was never, I wanted to make something of it. But now watching Jesse do it, and I think we are kind of changing roles at the same time too. So Jesse's going on camera more. I'm filming, and then all of a sudden we'll swap back over a fair bit, because Jesse is a better hunter. I will say that. There's been a lot of situations where I've just gone, Jesse, can you do this? Because I know I'm going to stuff this up. Like, Jesse and I did a meat hunt a little while ago, just with me, just us two together. And because Jesse had been bow hunting, his stalking is 10 times better than mine. And he would have got in 30 meters with these probably a mob of about 15 deer with a couple of big stags there. And Jesse just shot a nice meat doe. Of course, I was filming and I stuffed it up massively. The dog jumped out of the car. It all just went horrible. We didn't get shot.
Right as I pulled the trigger too.
Yeah, exactly. I just made a meal of it, and I just and then Jesse goes off and does his own hunt when we went to a bow place, and he gets the perfect shot on this goat, executes everything perfectly. The goat walks about 20 steps and drops down flat, dead. It's he's a lucky charm at the moment for me anyway. So,
mate, are you still doing the Cape York stuff?
Mate, I actually got a really sad phone call about a month or two ago, and they actually sold the property on me.
Damn.
I had to refund everything. I tried scampering and trying to get another property, and it just didn't work out. There was nothing of the same quality of what that property was. So I ended up having just to cancel it, sadly. I possibly could get onto a neighbouring block next year, but I've actually started a full-time job up in Brisbane at a hunting store called Venture Hunting and Outdoors, and they've offered me a full-time role. So with what Jesse and I are doing, I think we hunt enough, in my opinion. I've probably put the Cape York stuff on burner for a while. I've also got a Charters Towers block I'm working on, so I could possibly do some Chittle hunts as well, but I'm just kind of trying to get all our ducks in a row, which has been quite difficult, and have family life, which doesn't exist at the moment, and have a life. So we're just too busy to do other things.
You rubbed it in the other morning, sending me a video of the new store up there.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Damn. I was at work, and it was before the day had started, and I just see this video, and as a teacher, I don't swear, but it was very close to that coming out because, man, it looks good. We've got nothing like that down here in Sydney. That's unreal.
You didn't hear it from me, but let's just say wink, wink, nudge, nudge, something might be coming.
Oh, there you go.
There's whispers in the grapevine. I don't know. I'm not a part of any decision making. I'm just a little minion out the front selling stuff. But I do believe they are planning to do some more hunting shops like that. And everything I'm aware of is their goal is to have a similar stores to like Hunting Fishing New Zealand. So you can basically the one-stop shop, and that's what we are. Adventure, the one-stop shop. Everyone they hire there is either a hunter or a fisherman, like a spear fisherman. So they have to have outdoor knowledge. They will not hire you unless you've got some sort of knowledge in the hunting industry or fishing industry. So, yeah, which is fantastic because we've got a girl on the front counter. She's spearfishing guru. She's talking about getting shots 20 meters down and swimming with whale sharks and having the time of her life. And we've got guys in there who have their own nature businesses, which basically work for government doing bio stuff, which is really interesting. So yeah, we all hunt in there. It's pretty cool.
Well, I think I've obviously only seen the store through your camera and the video, but 2 layers, archery, like you've got your own range there to sight in, to feel it. Like that was one of the things, like I've gone to a couple of different archery shops and a couple of different, there's nothing there that has a massive amount of stock covering the scope. I think the best one, we got one here that's close, but it's nowhere near as big and the range is sort of very limited. But compared to what that looks like, that looks friggin' amazing. So I'm not only envious that you're close to it, but you're working there too. That's got to be a ripper. So got to be happy with that.
Yeah, it was great. I was a little bit, I still am quietly devastated about not being up at Cape York at this current moment. But life gets in the way, and one opportunity closes, another one opens, and I got offered a full-time gig and talking guns and scopes and hunting gear, and I just thought, why not? So and everyone there is really friendly. Everyone's really nice. They're all nice. They're like the Hunters Campfire boys are up there regularly. There's so many good lads in there coming in and out regularly. It's really good to kind of and also put names to faces and stuff. People come in and, hey Lawson, I'm like, obviously I probably don't know them. They introduce themselves and we start chatting, and it's been a few guys come and introduce themselves, which has been great because it's great to speak to people from the internet and obviously meet them in person for the first time. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, nice. Got to be happy with that.
Yeah, a little bit different, but yeah, it's nice.
Lots of things going on, which is it's all positive. It's good to hear. It's something that I feel, I consistently say we need to get more people into hunting and stay in hunting. And I did I was lucky enough, the ADA Sydney branch asked me to be a guest speaker. I don't know. I still don't know why. But went out and had a chat to them. And that was one of the things that kept coming up is the concerns that the next generation especially are not going to probably be getting into hunting. And how do we curb that? And I think that's important that we've got people out there who are great role models, who preach what we need to be preached and teach as well, so that you're more likely to have people getting into it for the long term. Because it's one, and I spoke about it, that I've had a couple of mates now I've introduced and got into hunting, and they're just as quickly now out of hunting. Which is a shame. Yeah. But as you said, life gets in the way, things happen. That's part of what, that's just part of it. I get it because I'm the same. I used to be a diehard spearo. I haven't been in the water for a fair bit now. It's something I want to get back into, but I'm never going to get back into it like I was. I found hunting has sort of filled that role and I'm enjoying that more. And that's one where whilst I still love to dabble in the other side, but I'm nowhere, if I've got the choice between jumping in the water and going for a hunt, I'm going for a hunt. But how do we continue to grow and get people on side? But then not also just that. We need to have those people in the middle that are not anti-hunting, because what they're seeing out in that space is respectful and good stuff. And you guys are doing that, which I really like. You're putting things out in the, out for people to see online that are not going to, I guess, not upset's probably not the right word, because there's always going to be people that don't like what we do, but it's that fringe, it's that neutral sort of zone that you don't want to be turning them off by what you're putting out there online, because you just don't know how people are going to react. And we need all the friends we can get, in my opinion, at the moment, with everything that's going on. Look at SA with the bow hunting, WA with the firearms rules, Vic's been, national parks, this bow hunting's been raised. There's so many things happening. So we need good people out there flying the flag, and, you guys are doing a really good job of that. So you should be proud.
Thanks, mate. No, I'm pretty proud. I don't know about Jesse.
I am. Cool.
got to stir him up every now and then. Yeah, it's one of those things. It's a little bit scary. If we don't look after it, we're going to lose it. And biggest thing we found through the courses was we had a course in July, and the amount of people we had 35 people rock up. We butchered 4 animals, and I asked. No one, probably out of the whole group, there had been 6 people that went hunting, but a lot of them were actually people who just wanted to harvest their own meat.
Yep.
And they were so concerned, especially in in Queensland, we don't have private, we're only allowed to hunt on private property.
Yep.
So we spoke about New South Wales and state forests and stuff like that. And a lot of the concern was, are we as Queenslanders able to go across? And I said, absolutely. Jesse and I do it when we can. We love heading down to that Tamworth area. It's beautiful, and we actually really want to go back up there desperately. But it's already too hot to go up there again. But yeah, we've had a lot of people say, is this going to be a thing that keeps happening? How we want to do our own sheep, we want to do our own cows, we want to hunt our own deer and stuff. Is it something we could lose? And that's why I said, join a club, build a community, join a club is the most important thing, sign petitions when you see it, because if we don't, we're going to lose it. And, and I every time I listen to your podcast, you talk about BCF as well, because they're a part of the club, guys fishing, they're going to, if we don't, we could lose fishing, we used to be able to catch as many mackerel as we want. Now we can only catch 1, I was thinking, maybe 2. So, I think the 4 drivers, the fishing guys and the hunters, they all need to come together and, make, I don't know, more communities, more clubs, whatever the possibility is of sticking together, so we don't lose what we've got. Because I've got 3 kids, Jesse's seen, we've gone out together, as our families. We love teaching the kids to shoot. They love shooting the 22, shooting some tin cans, having a great time. That's what we did as kids, What happens if that's gone? We can't teach our kids to do that. So, I don't know, we need to work out another way how to make it a little bit stronger, because, SA have just lost their bows. Victoria's getting their issues with, state forest. If they lose that, where are they going to go hunting? That's a really big problem, because so many people come into Venture and say, oh, we go up to Victoria chasing sambar. It's their trip for the year. How much money they're going to be spending. They're going to be paying for hotels, flights, all that stuff. Yeah, hunters they spend money. They help the economy. I think the government need to look a little bit harder at the situation and go, I'd happily do something like America, pay for tags or whatever we need to do. Seasons. I'd happily pay for tags. I'd happily pay for a fishing license. It just we need to have wardens. We need to have better ways of doing things, because, especially in Queensland. Queensland's terrible. It's all private property.
I've finally got my hands on a product that I absolutely love, and it is super simple but also so versatile to use. This means that you can tailor how you want to have your coffee when out in the bush. If you want to support the podcast and get an awesome bit of gear that I know you will love, and how you can use the code AHB podcast to get 10% off. The link can be found in the show notes, socials, and on the website. Final press, you'll love it. Yeah, I say it constantly. I don't envy you guys in the sense that without public land, I wouldn't be hunting. It'd be as simple as that. So I'm very blessed that New South Wales has such great access. But it is always in my mind, hopefully that won't go anywhere, because then there goes hunting opportunities for a vast majority of people, including myself. And that would be just, atrocious if we were to lose that. And you guys not having that, that's got to impact numbers of people getting into it.
At Venture, I see it so much.
Yeah.
People come in, where can I hunt? I give them websites to go and do a paid hunt, but I always put them onto DPI New South Wales. I know at Venture they're going to look at doing education nights just for that reason. You can go down to New South Wales. I was telling them about Jesse and Ours trip with the Wells boys last year. We caught trout. We saw heaps of deer. We saw pigs. It was a great trip. We saw wombats. It was, I tell people it's 7 hours away. Jump in the car, go down, book Nundle, book Tuggerlo. For us, it's 7 hours away. But yeah, it's a huge thing. And I've been telling everyone who comes in the Venture, don't pay for properties because they're all flogged out 6 hours from Brisbane. Go to State Forest. Drive that 2 hours extra, and you might have a better chance.
Tricky one. I see the value in what you're saying about the public land and whatnot, but if you're traveling 7 hours and you're not getting onto anything, how many trips of those are you doing before you call it quits?
Yeah, it's a hard one.
As a new hunter, I get it. I understand it because I can see that it's like anything. People want to do something and get that reward. And I think today's society, people are getting far more wanting that instant gratification. And that's come on the back of society, video games, watching Netflix or any streaming service now. You jump on and instantly they're playing the videos to try and capture your attention. People have a 3-second attention span. And then we're asking new people to travel for 7 hours.
Potentially days before they shoot something.
Correct. And if they're not, it's a big time investment. Then you got to think about the people getting into it and where they are in their life stage. Like if you've got kids, that throws a bigger spanner in the works because how many days can you get away for? If you're traveling for 7 hours, that's a day that you've just lost in hunting time. So if you've got a leave pass for 4 days, well, you've just burnt 2 days traveling practically. So you've now got 2 days by the time you get there, set up camp, et cetera, and you want to be doing it safe. You don't want to be driving, getting up at 11 o'clock doing an all-nighter and then bloody things. I know a lot of people do it, and it's, I've spoken about it before. I think the Hunters Campfire boys have mentioned it quite a few times. The most dangerous part of what we do is probably driving to hunting.
Yeah, it definitely is.
Which that is a concerning thing as well. So there's so many areas that it's I don't know how we fix it. I don't know how you change those things up to get people into hunting, keep them in hunting, and keep that number growing.
Yeah, it's very difficult. I know there's groups and clubs that offer assistance and programs and paid stuff. That's why we offer the meat hunt. People are taking up the meat hunt. It's just so difficult out there at the moment. But, we do talk about it in our course, how to gain property access, which is very, very difficult. Jesse and I do struggle ourselves. So, I found more than anything, 95% of the time, it's who you know and your reputation.
Yep.
And Jesse and I have got good reputations, and I know quite a few people, and we still don't get onto properties. So, it's, again, joining clubs, communicating, talking. But I tell everyone, you're not going to get a deer your first time. If you do, good on you, but you're not going to get a pig your first time. you're not going to experience anything like hunting or fishing or, if you're sitting on the couch. So, I'd never seen a wombat till I went to Tuggerlo. That was, I saw a wombat for the first time, thought that was awesome.
You've never seen a wombat?
Oh, probably at the zoo, but that doesn't count.
No, but never seen one in the bush?
Not until I went up there, yep.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I'm Queensland, mate. I'm from North Queensland. We don't see wombats. It's too hot. Koalas is the most thing I see. So.
Yeah, right. There you go.
Yeah.
Well, I suppose I know Zach over there at Hunting Connections, he hadn't seen a pig. I was shocked at that when he said he hadn't seen a feral pig in the wild. I was like, what the hell? Like, their numbers are everywhere. Like, they're just exploding because they can breed so prolifically. When
he said that, I think he told me on my podcast, he said he never seen one. I was just like, far out. So, he shot a sambar the other day, so he can't be complaining too much.
Yeah, no, that's good. Good on you, Zach. Well done, mate. That was good to see. But Jesse, all right, let's get over to you, mate, because everyone knows Lawson. We've heard his voice. Yeah, people are probably sitting there going, all right, Lawson, shut up. But let's hear from Jesse. It's his first one, mate. Give us your background. Where did hunting start? What's your story?
So, well, I grew up in Weipa in far north Queensland, and Dad's been hunting for years. So when I was a little fella, we used to tag along with him and watch. And the more we did that, the keener we got to get our hands on a gun and do it for ourselves. So I think I went on my first hunt when I was 10 years old. We went to Mum and Dad had a property that we used to camp on. It was in Cohen, which is about 3 or 4 hours southeast, I think it is, of Weipa. And there were pigs everywhere on that property. So we went there. I think we shot 7 or 8 pigs and I got a dingo as well. And from that moment on, mate, I was just hooked. That was it. When I was 16, we left Weipa and came down to Brisbane. So hunting it was on the back burner then for me for a couple of years. I had to adjust from being up north and coming down here. It was a pretty big culture shock for me. And that's when I discovered the bows and bow hunting. And also hunting for meat. Up north, you don't really hunt for meat. It's all pest eradication. You're doing the property owners a favour by getting rid of the pests up there. So, yeah, I started bow hunting for goats and then eventually moved on to deer. And, that's pretty much the story. That's the gist of it.
Are you really hooked on the deer? Is that your favourite thing to chase?
No, goats.
Goats.
I prefer goats.
Why's that?
I like I prefer the taste of them over deer.
Well, that's an exclusive for the podcast. I don't think I've ever heard anyone say they prefer goat to venison. But
Really?
That's a first.
Oh, well, there you go.
He could go and shoot as many deer as he possibly wants, but he goes to state forest to shoot bloody dirty old stinking goat.
I don't think the big stinky ones, mate. They don't taste good.
I'll shut up again. Sorry.
No, go for it. No, I'm curious at that because, don't get me wrong, I do like eating goat, so I'm not hassling you on that front. But yeah, most people, when you talk to them, if they get the chance to, what to chase their deer over goats. So, yeah, is that a bow thing? Do you think?
I think so. Yeah, I haven't shot a goat with a. Oh, actually, no, that's a lie. I have shot a goat with a gun. But no, look, from a bow hunting standpoint, they are easier, I find, to hunt goats. Easier to get close to them. They're easier to find because they're noisy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just a personal preference, I think.
Look, I love that everybody has their own thing, eh? That's probably, I think it's the beauty of hunting is that everybody has a different thing that they enjoy, whether it be, trapping dogs, whether it be, hunting goats, deer, whatever. I think it's awesome. That's probably the one thing I struggle of what I wouldn't want to do. Thinking about it, I'm super excited tomorrow night. I'm recording with a bloke overseas because I want to know about his coon dogs.
Ooh.
And I've got so many questions and I sit there and go, what about the possibility of raising sort of the same thing, but for cats and targeting feral cats with like dogs and doing it that way.
That'd be so good.
100%. How cool would that be? Like I watch the States and watch them chasing coons, and it's like watching Ranella do it and just go, that's what a friggin' cool sound. These things are barking and going off their heads up these trees. That's cool. Imagine doing that here with cats. You're doing a great conservation service. There's I don't know. That stuff gets me excited. I'm not going to eat it. Let's be honest. I do like eating what I should, but I'm not going to be eating cats. But you know what I mean? Like it's just, there's so many different styles and different ways. And I think that, yeah, I always like to hear people's thoughts on it and why they do what they do or they're interested in what they're doing.
Yeah, that'd be so cool. I'd love to see. I'm keen to hear that episode now about coon dogs. They're awesome.
Well, I found out something. Look, I love Joe Rogan in his podcast. I was listening to his one with Andrew Huberman, I think it is.
Andrew Huberman, yep.
Yeah, and he was talking about olfactory, and that was super interesting for me because he was talking about how our smell is not that dissimilar to dogs. And you sort of sit there and go, what the hell, you're off your head. And then he went through and he said there's all these experiments of people tracking chocolate that have been buried once they've taken away their sight and their hearing, and they've actually done it and done it correctly. And it's that maybe because of our other senses, we've started to switch off from what we used to be, which that makes me fascinated anyway. But then they were talking about coon dogs, and they were talking about why they have these big dangly ears, so that as they're running, that those ears are like swinging and pushing up the scent back towards their nose. And I was like, man, how amazing is nature and how it develops. And it's just so cool. So I'm super excited to pick this bloke's brain. Yeah, super, super keen. Because you hear these things and go, that's awesome. Wonder how we could use that here. And I don't know. Is there anyone here, if you're listening to this and you know anyone that's already doing it, please let me know, because that would be, I haven't heard of it.
I know there was an ABC. Oh, this would have been years ago. ABC put out a little video on Landline or something like that, and they were basically having. It wasn't a coon dog where the squirrel would go up a tree barking, but a dog would basically chase
like point them or something.
Yeah, basically get it, and then a tree quarry. But pig hunters brought in catahoulas for this exact reason. They brought them in from America because it's basically they're a treating dog, a quarry or a bailer, for example. So, yeah, it's an interesting one. Jesse and myself, actually, Jesse has done very well. I've not been so successful, but we've started doing the Paul Michaels course, which has been fantastic. So Jesse's dog's, how old is your mongrel, right?
He'd be almost 8 months.
What are you running? Because last time we spoke, Lawson, I think you said you were doing border collies.
Yeah, so I'm down to one. One didn't make the cut. So, yeah, I've got one collie, but he's basically, I'm trying something a bit different with him. So I'm using Paul Michaels' basically his theories and everything, his training methods. But I'm also using the dog for pigs if I can, where he's slowly, hasn't seen enough pigs to get him onto it. But I know I've seen guys like Clark McGee do it, but Red's more just finding a deer once it's been shot, where Jesse's dog is already, at 8 months old, he's already getting the gist of it. He's unreal. Yeah,
nice. What are you running, Jesse?
So mine's a Australian Coolie cross collie. Do you know what a Coolie is?
No.
A lot of people haven't. No,
I haven't. Yeah, what's that?
The story is, I don't think it's a registered dog breed, or it's not like the word recognized dog breed. But it's basically the Germans brought over their collies, and they couldn't pronounce collie properly, so they said Coolie, and then they bred them with dingoes, and that's how you got the Australian Coolie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, right.
So yeah, they're really good. They're really smart. Very clever dogs. But he's a Coolie cross collie, and he's got a little bit of Kelpie in him as well. But I'm pretty much following Paul Michaels' deer indicating,
big game indicating.
Yeah, yep. So I'm pretty much following that to a T.
Yeah. Okay.
we've got Ghost. His name's Ghost. We've got him geared up with all gun dog gear because he looks like a dingo and we don't want to shoot him by accident. So
Yeah.
Just don't take him across to Fraser.
yeah,
Be an issue.
yeah.
But no, well, that's cool. I'll be interested to see how that goes because I like eventually want to go down that path and get an indicating dog because I think it's just increases your odds. There's something that fascinates me about that relationship with a dog to take your quarry, and I just feel like I talk about always reflecting on how the previous ancestors of us all who hunted and how they went about it. And I just think dogs are such a big part of that. And whilst I'm not doing that, I feel like I'm missing out a little bit.
It's the best thing, I reckon. Sorry, I have to say it. It's just it's for example, the course 2 weeks ago, we went out. It was just on dark, and the guy that we had shooting shot the deer back about 2 inches back, and he had the right projectiles and everything, but the deer still went about 100 meters. And the time we got looking for this deer, it was too dark. And we'd be still there looking for it now. But we had the dogs there, and within 10 minutes, that deer was hung up, strung up, gutted. Everything was getting processed, and we would never have done that if we didn't have the dogs. I don't know. I just love that whole relationship.
It's one of the ones for me. I always sit there, and some of the places I hunt, state forest is so damn thick, and it's something that makes me nervous is that you pull the trigger and that deer shoots off into the thick stuff and God knows where it goes. And you could be spending a lot of damn time and coming up with nothing. And that, you don't want to see that happen. So I sort of see that investment with the dog of indicating, but then finding and tracking as well. And just, I do like seeing that relationship. And then you're fostering that and you're working with them, and that, it's a beautiful relationship in my mind. I'd have to get so much better at training dogs because I look at my two and just go, Jesus Christ, there's no way I could take them anywhere near the bush. But they're different dogs, I suppose. They're not designed for, that side of it. So it's interesting because I hear a few people trying different breeds and using Paul Michael's thing as a basis, but not just going down the indicating dogs like the wire hair pointers and the short haired pointers and things like that. So that's interesting. And I wonder how other species of dog go, or other breeds of dog go down that way. So I'm curious. I do like what you're doing there with the border collies, and I'm interested to see how that all progresses and how that goes because it's interesting. I find that fascinating, that sort of stuff. And
well, I got onto the hunting course, the big game ending through Ian Hurl's Hunter's Campfire.
Because I think that's where he trained Missy through, didn't he?
Yes, yeah. So we got to see Missy at one of our courses. So he brought Missy along, and you could just tell the connection straight away. And now Red and I have got that connection, and it's really, even Jesse said I started the course before he got Ghost, and now Jesse's got that with Ghost. It's that relationship, and basically, it was funny. I think Missy was going around getting sniffs and pats and everything. The second Ian called her name, she was right there, and didn't have had eyes for no one else. But Jesse's going through the puppy stage at the moment, where Red's just come out of it, so it's Red's starting to find his maturity, and I think it comes down to the dog. I think a lot of people say that collies are probably a bit too excited, but Red sleeps 95% of the day. Jesse's dog probably doesn't, but mine does.
It's definitely something I want to pursue down the future. Like once the kids get older and I've got a bit more time on my hands and things like that, because I don't think I wouldn't want to do it and not invest the time and effort needed, and then just have a dog that just can't perform what it's meant to do. I think that's just a travesty for that, like for the animal and not putting that time and effort into it too. So I see where the attraction is and why people want to do it, and how exciting it must be to get your animals with the assistance of that dog as well, because it's like a win for both of you. And I know I speak to Frankie about it, that when Joan tracks things or finds things, that he gets super excited and proud. I don't think it's reciprocated from her to him being proud, because he lets her down a lot, but that's a different story. We won't go into too much on that. Frankie knows what we're talking about. And, but yeah, I see that and just go, that's awesome. I love it. I think it's such a cool thing and another element to add on to hunting. Like you can just get so engrossed in hunting. That's what I love about it. I don't understand how people can't be super passionate, and whether it be your gear, whether it be your dogs as you're training, whether it be how you want to hunt, what you want to hunt, just there's so much to learn and consistently see and find and improve, and it's cool.
I think it's I said this a little bit. I think it comes down to their first 3 hunts. You'll see a guy come into to venture or a gun shop or whatever, and they'll come in and you can see the excitement after one hunt. Like, the dogs jumped off and they caught the pig, or a deer popped up and we all, we got to shoot. If they have that good experience, it basically becomes the drug. Like Jesse shot the goat a couple of months ago at a bow hunting place, and you won't see Jesse walk very far anywhere, but he backpacked that goat out. Meanwhile, I was asleep in the cabin for the last 4 hours. He backpacked that goat out. It was just so cool. And I think it comes down to your first couple of experiences, where it's just, you're either going to love it or you're not cut out for it. Yeah, I don't know. What do you think, Jess? I think it's your first 3 hunts.
Oh, I don't know about that. With bow hunting, when I first started bow hunting, it took me a good 18 months before I shot something. Many hunting trips that I came home empty-handed. I stuck to it. But when I did make it happen, far out, mate, it hooks you. It's so addictive when you put in all that hard work and you're learning as you go, and then you finally pull it off. It's pretty unreal. So if I gave up after my first 3 hunts of bow hunting, it wouldn't have taken long.
But do you think you were already hooked, though? You talked about when you were younger up at Weeper shooting.
Absolutely, yeah.
And so you had that passion, connection, and then the bow hunting is almost like the challenge, the next challenge.
Yeah, you put it that way. You're dead right. It's just that added challenge to it. But that's still easy to give up on too.
Yeah, I agree.
After 18 months.
I think that's where I'm with you, Lawson, about the 3. I think it changes if you have been somebody who has other reasons to be there. And I'm only going off my own personal experience, is that I love the outdoors. I've grown up spearing and things like that. It wasn't so much hunting because my family didn't do it, but hiking, mountain bike riding, trail bike riding, running, being in the bush, camping, all those different elements was then combined into hunting. So even if I wasn't successful hunting, I'm still out there camping and hiking with a rifle, and it wasn't the end of the world. So for me to stick at it was quite easy because I'm doing other things that I enjoy in the process of hunting. And I think that for people like that, it's probably different, I'd feel, like myself, as opposed to someone brand spanking new, say COVID, say someone that, got nervous about the shortage of meat that was in the stores and the fact that how quickly the system can collapse around us and the restrictions, et cetera, et cetera. I can see those people who may never have stepped foot outdoors, then it being this big confronting thing. And then I think you're right. It's the 3 hunts. And if nothing's really happening there, they're like, oh, maybe I'm just not good at this and I'm sort of out. So I think, it's an interesting one. And I think then maybe is that where we want to be targeting new hunters, those people that already have that connection to the wilderness, but they might not be doing it just yet with the hunting side. And would that keep a higher retention rate? I don't know. I'd love all this data and I'd love to find out.
It'd be the best data to,
what it
work
is
out,
and how we can fix it.
Fishermen, you could have a field day and the government should look at, I know the government won't touch it, but, Field and Stream and clubs like ADA and stuff like that, communities, they should really look into that because, around how many bushwalkers in Brisbane are walking around right now, especially up in the hinterland behind us, there's rooster going everywhere. We could be utilising so much more with this Australian hunting, but we're just not. I don't know who the person is to fix it, but it's just one of those things that we could be really changing things and making better decisions. And
that cross promotion's key. I like, and that's why I said to you at the start, I like what you boys are doing with the not limiting yourself to hunting, and it's why I did something similar to your bailing, scaling barbecue. Was that it's hunting and beyond, because I don't want to just focus on hunting. Yes, it's a predominant part, but there's so much others. Like, I had a great chat with a fella from New Zealand a couple of weeks ago, and that's on the back of him using triathlons to train for hunting and linking them together. And I do something similar. I love to run, and my running is to keep fit for hunting. So trying to tie in that health benefit, and then that you've got all those extra things like the nutrition from game meat and all these different elements that sort of come together nicely in this mix. And I feel that we need those stronger connections. I wonder if those people that are already fishing, why aren't they hunting? So how do we sort of go, hey, you know what, like the spear fishing, like it's the aquatic bow hunting, or it's the aquatic bloody shooting a rifle, depending on the type of gun you're running.
Yeah.
Why isn't there the crossover as much? And is it because of the access issue? Because it's really easy to go spearfishing. Yes, there's some marine parks out there, but the reality is you can go to most beaches, go off the headland, and you're right to go. As long as down here in New South Wales, we have it's $100 license for a couple of years. Good, done, happy days. Is it all the hurdles that come with getting into hunting? Like you said, if you're in Queensland, you haven't got the access, whereas you got some great fishing up there. Is that why more people get into fishing? I don't know. I have this argument with my brother. He's a dead keen spearo, and he's got into the bow hunting, and he's starting to progress down that track. But I keep saying to him, you only have to get one animal. You get a goat. There's a lot more meat on a goat than a fish.
Oh, yeah.
So all these trips that you want to get out and get fish, like, don't get me wrong, love fish and more than happy to get more fish, but you don't have to go, like, you know what, the yield is so much more off an animal from hunting than it is fishing. And then to do both and have those different types of protein, that's a bigger win as well.
Yeah.
Are we capitalizing on that? And if not, how do we do that? How do we have that cross promotion? So with you guys talking about that and doing that, I love it. I think it's great.
Yeah, a lot of the boys, so Venture's owned by Adreno. I'm probably saying it wrong. They're all going to probably kill me for it. So Venture's owned by Adreno, which is basically the spearfishing underwater world kind of stuff. And a lot of those boys are telling me about how they gain property access. And a lot of it is through seafood. They go and get crays, they go and get fish and stuff, and they go door knocking. They go and say, hey, look, we've got some crays here. Would you let us to, have a barbecue with you, go out and meet you? We'd love to come have some access to go hunting and stuff. So I've noticed a lot of spearfishing guys are bow hunters.
Nice.
Yeah, so it's becoming a recurring thing at Venture, seeing guys that they love their spearing, they come over, and because we've got it on the same floor, so there's two stories at Venture, and a lot of guys will go and check the spearfishing gear, then they'll come over and, oh, look at this bow, and they'll just start playing around, and there's a big shooting lane, and next thing you know, they're looking at bows, and yeah, obviously they always ask stuff like, how do we gain access and stuff, and I do put them on the paid property sites and paid properties and DPI, but I'd be really, really surprised and really be interested to see how much of the fishing world hunts. It'd be really good to get some data on all that and go through it.
Yeah, both ways. I think it'd be, because they almost go hand in hand. Summer is perfect for fishing and not so much hunting. And then winter, I love to hunt in winter and switch them over as we go. That is, they work well together in unison. So it's that one, yeah, I'd really be keen to see how many overlap, that sort of Venn diagram, and who's sitting in the middle. That would be really good information to have.
Yeah.
And I don't know where we get this and who does it, but geez, it'd be good to have.
And then all those guys, all probably most likely got 4 drives because they go out and they want to go camping and they want to tow
boats, fishing rods are nice and large, and I know spear gear. You've got a lot of stuff to take with you. Like it all crosses over. It all is relevant and it's all outdoorsy and healthy. And mate, I just think there's just so many benefits to the whole damn thing, and people need to be getting on it. So that's, it's one of those.
I'm braving myself. I'm thinking about doing some spearfishing. I've got a couple of guys at work that are thinking about showing me, but I feel like I'll be a fat seal, getting ready to get munched by a great white. That's my only problem. Mate,
that is the one. Having run-ins with the sharks is and it's not like a snake. We can wear gaiters. We can watch where we're putting our foot down. Watching some of the close encounters and things like that, man, you just sometimes don't even see them coming. You're in their environment. They're so much faster. That's been the big one for me now that I've got the family and the young ones going. I'm relatively confident in the bush that
you're not the apex predator.
Yeah, I'm not worried too much, right? In the ocean, we flop around like nothing on earth. Like we're just a sitting bait ball. Like, the payoff for whatever wants to hit us. Yeah. That's the nervous one. But then I go, it's unreal diving and just being in the water, and it's such an amazing world that we don't get to see so often. So there is definitely the risk versus reward. And then, who doesn't love a feed of fish or, lobsters? Or it's just,
Yeah, I don't know. I just keep thinking the lobster. I keep thinking of the fish that, I love fishing. I love doing the day on the boat with the kids and stuff. But sometimes you just wish, all right, I just want to go in and get a couple of things to eat, and I'll be out really quickly. But I do, every time I think about it, I just think I'm that seal in South Africa that's waiting to get jumped on.
With the great white breaching.
Yeah, so I keep thinking of it's just getting split in half. So that's my mind over matter.
That's it. Like it's risk versus reward. It's one of those things that you can't live your life in fear. You got to get out and have a crack. So it's that nice balance, I say, and very enjoyable. Well, boys, good to hear what's going on and that things are going really, really well for you. Excited to see the changes and new ways you're going about it. If you haven't, check out this red stag hunt. What was it? We're not going to say raffle. We're going to say giveaway. All right, love it. So check it out. If not, check out the hunting courses too. A lot of great stuff going up there. Always been a fan of what you're doing, and nice to meet you, Jesse, for the first time.
Thanks,
and
mate.
I'm sure we'll do this again down the future. And Lawson, always a pleasure to have you on and chat to you, mate. So appreciate your time, boys. Best of luck with it. Enjoy the rest of the hot weather that's coming your way and what's left of the year. So,
thank you very much, mate. Appreciate coming on and love your work. I'm keen to hear about this coon dog situation with a guy in the US.
Oh, my.
Love your work, mate. Thank you for getting us on.
Appreciate it. Thanks, boys. All right, guys. Bye for now.
See ya.
If you have a topic, guest, question, or any gear that you want to hear about on the podcast, shoot us an email, australianhuntingandbeyond@gmail.com. Alternatively, find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. All the links are in the show notes. If you haven't already, make sure you give us a review and subscribe to our podcast on whatever platform you're listening on. Thanks for joining us, and we'll catch you next time.